Welcome, this is Mzuzu segment of News Hour, and you're with me, Blessings Kanache. Thanks for joining us. Health experts have agreed to increase awareness on COVID-19 prevention among people with disabilities. Speaking during a meeting organized by an organization advocating for the rights of people with deaf blindness, known as Visual Hearing Impairment Membership Association, VHEMA, Dr. John Puka, chairperson of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, said there is need to do more, especially on information formatting and delivery among people with disabilities in the country. We have a report. Communication barrier among people with disabilities, especially the deaf-blind, has been a major setback in COVID-19 prevention among such communities. Dr. Enoch Chiremba, a lecturer and disability expert based at Chancellor College in Zomba, prayed that the formulation of the new health strategic plan should involve people with disabilities so that they include their needs and aspirations. He said the country has tried to involve people with disabilities in fighting COVID-19, but there is need to do more, especially on messaging and communication.
When we say as a nation, we have actively involved persons with disabilities and their organizations in coming up with any measures and strategies that we are taking. Perhaps the answer is no. Here we might be developing another strategic plan. Then from the inception of that strategic plan, we need to bring persons with various disabilities on board.
Martha Momba, Programs Officer for Visual Hearing Impairment Membership Association VHEMA Deaf-Blind Malawi, said COVID-19 has put to a standstill lives of people with deaf-blindness due to the nature of their disability, which requires total support from others. However, Dr. John Puka, chairperson of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, said,
as you are aware, the country has a strategic plan that responds through specific clusters to respond to those that have specific needs. And again, one would want to say which subgroup looks at that. So you may remember that we have the protection and social support cluster that looks at the special needs.
The meeting was conducted by VHEMA Deaf-Blind Malawi with funding from Disability Rights Fund, DRF. The Malawi Human Rights Commission, MHRC, says will hold nationwide consultation meetings with relevant stakeholders to seek views that will determine Malawi's positions on same-sex marriages once it is adequately funded. The Commission's chairperson, Reverend Patrick Sempere, was speaking in Mzuzu during a press briefing ahead of the International Human Rights Day commemorated on 10th December. Reverend Sempere speaks to Chimwemwe Mirulu.
We are aware that the Honorable Minister of Justice alluded to the fact that government is looking to the Commission to provide leadership in that regard, because this is a human rights issue. And therefore, as a Commission, we have taken up that obligation very seriously, considering that it's not coming up for the first time. You may remember that I think way back in 2017, 2018, government made a request to the Commission on the same matter. But the resources were not available, and so the Commission was not able to undertake a national dialogue, on the same. But this time round, we're hoping that government will walk the talk and will provide resources to the Commission for us to be able to undertake, a national inquiry so that Malawians can help provide, a direction that the country would need to take in this particular regard.
More women are now venturing into dairy farming business. This was disclosed during the handover of 43 dairy cows to Mpoto dairy farmers in Mzuzu. The association's country director, Hilbert Chigona, however, said lack of structured markets remains a challenge among many farmers in the industry. More in this report by Grant Mohango.
Despite selling their milk and milk products through unstructured markets, resulting into some degrees of losses, Sonda milk backing group farmers in the outskirts of Mzuzu city are happily pulling their heifers they have received to their respective homes. Mpoto Dairy Farmers Association chairperson Anna Tembo describes the development as a boost to their association and calls for an urgent solution to the marketing challenges their members face.
This problem affects us a lot Because if you have a processor, we have a stable market. You sell your milk there, you expect to have cash at the end of the month.
Malawi Milk Producers Association Country Director Herbert Chigona says studies have shown that women are more keen at taking care of farm animals than their male counterparts, hence the need for the association to adopt a 75% women representation.
Look at dairy business, at dairy production. You find that most of the work is done by women at household level. These women are working very hard. Even in the south, where there is a lot of milk, central region, you find that much of the work is done by the women. And we want to encourage these women to be working very hard and even invite the new farmers to join dairy as a business.
Small Producers and Transporters Association's ProData Executive Director Alan Kumwenda says his organization will provide market dynamics training to the farmers as one way of boosting their revenue.
As you might have noted, the main challenge has been maybe some of those farmers they have not really been trained. So what we are doing is to impact on them. We should be able to train them on marketing and the group dynamics so that as a team, how can they be working as a team.
Statistics indicate that the southern region is leading in the milk supply chain, followed by the central region. The program has been funded by We Effect, a Swiss-based organization. Grant Muhango, MBC Mzuzu.
The upgrading of Champira water scheme project in Mzimba is likely to miss the deadline following the decision by the workers to lay down their tools to force the contractor to pay them their dues. Senior Chief Maulao of the area says he is concerned that the project is stalling for the second time.
According to Senior Chief Maulao, in 2015, government sourced some funds for the upgrading of Champira water scheme in Mzimba district, but the project stalled for reasons the community was not informed about. 5 years down the line, the project was funded again through Malawi Drought Recovery and Resilience Project, and it was supposed to be completed by December 2020. The chief says as of now, there is no progress being made on the project.
The contractor they sent to this project, there's nothing which is happening on the ground. If you look at the degree of completion, the project was supposed to take about 6 months, but the degree of completion you see is almost 10%. But I understand we hear that the contractor collected some money for the project.
Parliamentarian for the area, Sam Chirwa, shares the concerns.
Yeah, it's very sad that this project, since it started, we have been looking for a contractor and we can't see a contractor. Today, because the minister is here, he has sent the representative. It's very unfortunate. But we hear rumors that he got some payment and yet he hasn't done anything.
Reports indicate that about 95 workers left the site because the contractor was not paying them. Meanwhile, Kosin Kapanga, who was speaking on behalf of the contractor, said the work will resume soon.
So we were paid for the works which were in the BOQ, but we also did some works which were not in the BOQ, according to the scope of the contract. So that was the major issue. We have only paid from the money which we got from the payment that we received from the works that we did, which are in the BOQ.
Currently, over 50,000 possible beneficiaries of the project are traveling long distances to access water. Musase Cheyo, MBC, Mzimba.
UTM Youth Achievers is set to launch the Youth Investing in Modern Farming initiative, with youth interested in venturing into agriculture from across the country set to participate. The launch is expected to take place at Mbalachanda in Mzimba. Speaking to MBC, UTM Youth Achievers National Director Mzondi Mpendawire said the initiative has the potential to contribute to the country's food security attainment, while at the same time empowering the youth through agribusiness and job creation. Blair Mhone reports.
According to UTM Achievers National Chairperson Mzondi Mkandawire, the Youth Investing in Modern Farming training being launched at Mbalachanda in Mzimba is part of the party's manifesto in agricultural transformation, especially amongst the youth and smallholder farmers.
The Vice President of the South Scouts Chilima during the campaign time, even in UTM manifesto, they emphasized so much about youth, empowering the youth in investing in modern farming. And also, if we look about in Tose government manifesto, we also look that there was also the promise about mega farms.
Mkandawire also added that the initiative has the potential to solve the country's food insufficiency as well as creating jobs for the youth.
Now we are saying that if we have empowered this youth in modern agriculture, we are going to produce a lot of food in this country. Not only that, but even different crops. So the issue about forex, it will be just a story. So that's why we said, let's empower this youth, that we should have the mega farm. So we are saying, let's now transform this youth into modern agriculture.
As part of the initiative, the youth achievers have also acquired farmland to be used in training the youth who will be trekking from across the country to gain knowledge in modern farming practices. There Mhoni, MPC News, Mzuzu.
Karonga town is set to become a municipality. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Livingstone Belekanyama, says all is set and the paperwork is also done. Belekanyama told MBC that the move will help the border district to thrive in development. He spoke to our reporter, Chisomo Manda.
We have done away with the paperwork, we have gazetted, all the processes have finished. We have only left with one step, and after that step, we are going to ask the head of state to come to Karonga for declaration.
Well, that story concludes the Mzuzu segment of News Hour. I've been Blessings Kanache, now handing you back to Kwaja Studios in Blantyre for more news.